Let's begin by telling you that the presidents of the Nigerian Labour Congress and Trade Union Congress have urged the federal government to also enthrone service-reflective tariff and stoppage of segregation of customers. Ajaero and Festus Osifo made this known on Wednesday while presenting a joint address at the May Day celebration in Abuja. In the 18-item demands presented by the Labour leaders, they said electricity privatization exercise in the country should be reviewed with the view to have a reversal. They added that they want the government to immediately roll out the CNG buses needed nationwide as agreed.
NLC and TUC hereby advise NEC and power sector operators to reverse the last increase in electricity tariff within the next 1 week. Public service needs to review the contributory pension scheme. Your Excellencies and comrades, there is need to review the contributory pension scheme, which was disrupted by the enactment of the 2004 Pension Reform Act. There are complaints ranging from delay or no transmission of contributory money to Pension Fund Administration, PFA, inabilities to access the initial 25% of total contributions by retirees as stipulated by law, etc. Of most concerns is the fact that the monthly pension of those who retired under defined benefit scheme earn at least 50% monthly pension more than those who retire under the contributory pension scheme.
All workers must rise from our celebration today more determined than ever before. Build a trade union movement that will continue to work within the philosophies of traditions that propelled it into existence. The minimum wage struggle. The minimum wage struggle serves as a urgent reminder of the resistance faced by workers and the obstacles deliberately placed by government. It underscores the pressing need for unity across all levels of engagement to advance our shared objectives. We are already working together in every facet of the national minimum wage fixing process to ensure that better results are achieved, which will not only speak to the welfare of Nigerian workers, but would also assist in driving business activities around the nation.
And now joining me on the news to discuss this is the former president of Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, Comrade Bobboi Bala Kaigama. Comrade Kaigama, thank you so much for joining us on the news. Comrade Kaigama, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so beautiful. So let's start this way. By the recent actions of government in the past few months, would you say that Nigerian workers have been valued, celebrated, and supported enough?
Well, I wouldn't say that, not quite, because, certain policies or do I say fallout of certain policies of either the previous administration and this administration is rather biting hard on Nigerian workers. First, you talk of increase in pump price, increase in electricity tariff, and the inflationary rate, hyperinflation, I would say, the drop in the value of our naira, insecurity, and to worsen it, if you see the situation of the queues in our filling stations now, it's very worrisome. So we wouldn't say we are still in the woods. So we hope that government will quickly address the problem of current fuel scarcity, the devaluation of the naira, the electricity tariff hike, and improve on the security so that Nigerians who are very, very hungry now can contend with just being hungry and not being angry.
Okay.
By the time Nigerians become angry, it becomes a different story.
Well, we hope.
Before now, you could, as a worker, if your salary cannot take you home, you find a way of going to the farm and augment your little salary. Now, no worker can go to the farm because of insecurity.
Okay.
So a lot of constraints on the workers.
Okay, well, Comrade Kaigama, I'm actually glad that you mentioned a couple of situations that Nigerians and, of course, the workers are actually going through. You mentioned fuel scarcity, inflation, insecurity, poor electricity, and some other issues. And some were actually asking, could policies of government have been more humane and decisive in approach and implementation to avoid these harsh realities? Because basically, the indecisiveness of government and the policies that have rolled out are the things that have actually resulted in the situations that Nigerians have had to deal with. So could there have been a better approach, or the path that the Nigerian government has taken over time is inevitable?
Yeah, I think the better approach would have been a lot of consultation, a lot of background checks on policies, then policy implementation monitoring, and a review of the policies, probably, if possible, weekly or monthly, with a view to seeing how where government policy is lacking, or where there are challenges, you address those challenges immediately.
All right.
Otherwise, if we continue that way, you see that palliatives have not improved. Government said they initially have withdrawn fuel subsidy. Indirectly, they are subsidizing fuel again. Yet, we're still having the problem of fuel scarcity. Dangote factory, refinery has come on board. And we have crude that production is ongoing every day. So can't we give, if our own Port Harcourt, Kaduna, and Warri refineries have not come on board, can't we extend the allocations to Dangote refineries so that they will refine this crude, and then the products are sold to Nigerians?
Okay, Comrade, permit me to butt in here. Of course, we'll be looking at solutions, but then we want to look at how the labor unions have reacted to these issues. Now, the labor unions have initiated several industrial actions in a couple of months to push for better living standard for Nigerian workers and to address the pertinent issues affecting them, but little have been recorded. So, as a former union leader that you are you proud of how the leadership of Ajaero and Festus Osifo have gone about these agitations and deliberations with the government?
Well, you see, government, they never change. Whether current or previous administration, we've been having challenges with them. You know, when you don't engage your critical stakeholders, particularly labor, you will have problems. In the sense that you think you know it all, and then it will come back to haunt you. So the problem we're having now is that of not adequately consulting with the labor movement. Whatever policy government wants to come up with, behind the scene you can consult. Have a feeler of what it looks like. There is no government that consults that will fail in its policy implementation. We as labor leaders or veterans will never work against a policy that we have been carried along. So if you don't carry us along, definitely there will be that kind of agitation. There will be resistance. But if ab initio, you carry the movement, the working class, along in their policy formulation and implementation, definitely you will have a kind of a soft landing where mistakes are identified, where implementation challenges are identified, you sit down jointly, since you jointly came up with those policies, and address the areas concerned.
So, comrade, in area of addressing, areas that are needing immediate attention, and of course, the reaction of government. Now, we see a current administration presided over by Bola Tinubu that has improved an increase of about between 25 and 30% in salaries for civil servants. So doesn't that mean that this government has listening ears? That is one. Then two, despite the fact that these increases have come, the NLC, according to what we heard, have rejected that particular increase, saying that what needs to be expressly approved is about 615,000 naira as minimum wage to reflect current realities. So we are looking at a government that seems responsive to the complaints or yearnings of the Nigerian workers, but then seems as though the Nigerian Labour Congress is still not satisfied with this response from government. So where do we place it, or what's your take?
Well, you see, there's one thing about wage increase and national minimum wage. The wage increase we're experiencing now is supposed to have been, like I told you earlier, subject of collective bargaining. In 2011, we had an increase of about 53% in the public service, wage increase. Now it came up from nowhere. Normally, the Joint Public Service Negotiating Council, trade union side and the government side, will sit down and address, discuss, negotiate on this wage increase. But I'm not sure this increase is a product of collective bargaining. All the same, just like they did in the case of wage award before addressing the national minimum wage. We will say government has tried, but the procedure, the process taken in doing this is wrong. For instance, you've increased the salaries of pensioners who are on the pay-as-you-go system.
Okay.
But suddenly you've forgotten about the contributory pensioners. You've not increased theirs. You've increased those of pay-as-you-go, those on the old system. Those on the new system, you left them in the cooler.
So basically, it is the lack of communication.
In fact, it might even collapse the new pension scheme.
So basically, Comrade Kaigama, what you're saying is that it's the lack of communication between government and the labor union and the inability to reach an agreement. That is why we are seeing this friction and this back and forth. Well, we hope that something will be done in earnest to alleviate the plight of the workers. But then we must say, Comrade Bobboi Bala Kaigama, former President, Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, we appreciate your contribution on the news. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate you.